I help X do Y by Z. Somebody take a stab at it. Brian, I know what you do for a living. You'll be good at it. Go for it.
All right, so you're gonna have to help me a little bit because I wasn't paying too much attention because I'm getting my daughter ready to take her to volleyball practice. So
Summertime.
it's
I help X
so,
do Y by Z. What I'm saying is, a lot of times when we walk into rooms, when we introduce ourselves, we usually introduce ourselves by what we do for a living, and we usually don't tell much about ourselves. So the question: can we answer that formula so that it is clear and concise who we are and what we do? And I just said a second ago without talking about your job, but if you can do it with your job, I help people uplift people by caring and prepare for the unexpected. Can anybody guess what Riri does for a living? I help people uplift people by caring and prepare for the unexpected. I already know. You're a caretaker. Riri, am I right? You're a life coach. You're a life coach. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So a spiritual coach. Oh, and a spiritual coach. You're a life. Wait. Didi says you're a life coach. You are a spiritual coach. Okay, I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. So let me just go down this list of what my devotion was about. My devotion was about how to get in the room, how to get in the room. We're gonna come back to that. I help X do Y by Z. I want to get rolling on it, right? In the chat, write the words I belong. I belong. I belong in the chat. Let me know you rocking with it. I belong in the chat, right? The way you become something, the way you become something is to get around it, right? The way you become something is to get around it, right? You want to become a smoker, hang around smokers. You want to become a criminal, hang around criminals. Want to become a pastor, get around church folks, get around some deacons and some pastors, right? You want to become an entrepreneur, start hanging around, right? Ball player, doctor, pharmacist, engineer, uh, whatever you want to become, you got to get around it, right? You got to get in the room, right? Whatever you want to become, you got to get in the room. There you go. Riri, I belong. Georgina, I belong. Adrian, I belong. Cardiac, I belong. How do we belong? How do we get in the rooms that we belong in? Outside of God placing us with the blessings of being in that room, how do we get in those rooms, right? So first things first, you got to get around something or get around the things that are doing what you want to do, right? Like I said, if you want to be an entrepreneur, I promise you, if you got 8 entrepreneur friends and you hang out with them, guess what you about to do? You about to start a business. Believe that, right? You want to be you want to, matter of fact, you want to stop drinking, hang around people that used to have drinking problems and everybody has stopped. Guess what you about to do? You about to stop, right? All right, so you got to get around what you want to become. First things I wrote down as my first note was you have to adopt the idea that you actually belong there. You have to adopt that. You got to engrave yourself with, man, I do belong in here with these millionaires, right? And I talked about it at 6:30. Anybody, and they all said, yeah, but y'all ever walked into a room and was just overwhelmed because you ain't what the room is, right? And just felt that spirit of uncomfortable, like just so uncomfortable. Like, yo, I'm intimidated, the room too big or the room too, like, or even vice versa. You walk in the room and this room too small for you. Man, I gotta go. This is not it, right? Or, man, this is too much. Everybody in there, pastor, why am I in here? Right? I'm just a radio dude, right? Like, whatever. Adopt the idea that you actually belong there. God will put us in places that we will blow our mind. You have to adopt the idea that I belong. That's why I told y'all to write it in the chat. I belong. Get the idea in your head that you are in the room, right? Get the idea in your head that you add value to the room when you walk in, right? Matter of fact, before you walk in the next room today, I'm not talking about from the kitchen to the bathroom. What I'm saying is, the next circle you walk into, before you walk into that office, before you walk into that meeting, before you walk into that bank to get that loan, whatever that is, adopt the idea that I deserve to be here. I add value when I walk through this door, right? Get out the car and say that, man, I add value for when I walk in this meeting, right? I said this morning. I'm gonna try to elaborate on it. I was tired this morning. We got it. Okay, I gotta laugh every time I read this when I get ready to say it. Get out of the idea. Get out of the idea that you can serve your way into a room. All right. Get out of the idea that I can work or serve my way into a circle, into a network, right? Get that out of your head, right? I think us Christians and us believers, when we hear the word serve or servant, it's supposed to be a positive word that we can mess around and make that our crutch or our downfall, right? Again, start telling yourself that you add value, you don't serve. Like you'll hear people say, I'm just here to serve. And I said, when somebody says that, you are no longer valuable. You're usable, you're not valuable, right? Now, I had to put in parentheses when I wrote this. If your service is your value, that is something different. But if you are, I'm just a servant at heart, right? You are usable. You're not valuable. As soon as, if you just wanted to serve while there's cleanup time, as soon as we done cleaning up, thank you, your services are no longer needed. You didn't add any value, you just helped, right? So start adopting the idea that I add value. Somebody write that in the chat. I add value. I add value, right? It's just hard to say it as a Christian that when we start saying I'm a servant, that it sound, if we start saying, yo, I'm not just a servant, it sounds like we come off a certain way. But yo, I add value. I'm not just here to pick up, or I'm not just here to pass out. I'm not just here to, even in your volunteering, you need to add value, right? So I wrote this down. This was just came to my head. Humble is a gift. Being humble is a gift, right? Everybody just can't be humble, right? Somebody can have all the accolades in the world, right? And still be like, yo, all glory to God, and really mean that from their heart. That's being humble. But sometimes being overly humble can be your crutch, right? Overly humble. No, I don't want no payment. I'm just here to, right? Sometimes that can hinder you. Sometimes God will give you the gift so that it can make room for you. And you're so humble that you won't even accept your blessing. Like sometimes somebody ever said, listen, let me just bless you. You like, nah, I'm blessing you. You being overly humble, right? Sometimes that could be your crush. That can be your downfall, right? I don't want no payment. Cool, right? If I step into a room and say, man, I'm speaking for free, and that's my heart, and I say I'm going to speak for free, and somebody else says, man, God told me to give you $1,000, I'm going to say, well, do what God told you to do, right? I ain't come here for no money, but I do what God told you to do. I'm not going to be so overly humble that I block somebody else's blessing, or I even block my own, right? So get out of the attitude of being, we're talking about how to get into the room. And when I say room, we're thinking circles. When I say room, we're thinking network, right? How to get into the room, right? And whatever room you're thinking of, the room that's in your head too big for you or outside of your realm, right? Number 2 on my list, I said, yo, we have to start building. I'm sorry, you want to say something, Brian? Oh, number 2, start building a community in your area, in your network, in your circle. Start building a community. And what I mean by that is, who can speak up for you? Who can speak up for you? Who's the gatekeeper that can open a door? Who's the person that vouches for you? Nah, I know Cardiac, right? Let him in. He a good one, right? Brian is my guy. Let him look right in here. Oh, him. That one, right? Right. So who can vouch for you, right? Build your community in the area that you want to be in, right? And that's when I wrote my scripture for today, which was Proverbs 27:2. Let another person or let another praise you and not your own mouth. Let an outsider, there you go, character witness, right? Let an outsider, not your own lips, right? We can brag about ourselves all day long, right? Right? We can brag ourselves, well, yeah, but like, if you're trying to get into a group of friends that all are real estate people and they got their circle, you trying to get into a millionaires group and they all hang out over here and you want to get in that group, somebody got to speak up for you. You could be a millionaire too, but somebody got to say, nah, call him, call her. Somebody got to open the door, right? Let another person praise you, not your own. Let your work speak for itself. Absolutely, right? But let somebody else speak up for you, right? All right. Remember what we did at the beginning. I help X by Y by Z. I think I said, no, I help X do Y by Z. So we're going back to that, right? How to get in that room, right? First, adopt the idea that you actually belong there. Second, start building that community in your area, right? Start building that community. Find those people. Like Adrian said, that character witness, right? That can vouch for you, right? Stop saying I'm just a serve. Don't think you could serve your way into an organization or into a group or into a clique or into a whatever. You got to add value. And adding value is way more respectable than just serving. Trust me. Serving is good. But when somebody says, no, man, you know what they bring to the table? That's a lot better than, yo, go do this for me since you want to be here, right? Right? That's the reason why interns don't get, never mind. That's a whole another thing. All right. I put this on my number 3. Start collecting your successes. Start collecting what have you accomplished? That's not your job. What have you accomplished? I was talking about it this morning. I used the example. Y'all ever been in a room or at a meeting or at a function and somebody goes, y'all married? How long y'all been married? And the old couple stand up and be like, man, we make 52 years this year, right? What happens after that? Married or not, the whole room goes, woo, right? Right or right, right? Somebody goes, man, I've been 30 years, FedEx. Good or bad, the whole room go, woo, right? Right? Start collecting your successes, right? That's the key. I look at it like your successes is the key to get into a room because that shows you your value, right? And it doesn't have to be monetary. I got a yacht. I got, it ain't got to be that, right? And I go back to that marriage thing. Whether somebody been married 52 years of a terrible marriage, a profitable marriage, right? We don't care what happened in the marriage. We look at it and go, 52, right? That's a success, right? Somebody, and I use weight loss earlier. If somebody got on here right now and was like, yo, I started this journey, man, and I lost 90 pounds in 6 months. Whether I want to lose weight or not, I'm probably gonna be like, wow, how you do that? Right? Start collecting your successes. It doesn't have to be monetary, right? But what adds value to your life? Why would people want you around, right? Ask yourself that. What have you done for an extended period of time that's not your job? And the reason I said that's not your job is because we could all say, man, I've been on the job 5 years. Man, I've been here 9 years. Mark, I've been in radio 22 years, right? That just means you can do something for a long time. That's all it means, right? But what's the value in just saying, man, I can stay here, right? So back to that introduction was my next point, was we need to work on our introduction. Anybody want, now that I said what I said, anybody want to go back and now try to introduce yourself, right? It's better than saying I'm just this, right? Here's the thing, when I use the word help, I actually said I help X do Y by Z. Reason on Instagram, a lot of people was jumping in the comments a few minutes ago and was like, yo, that's hard. That's really hard. Somebody said, man, icebreakers are always difficult, Marcus. And I was like, no, what's hard is the word help. Because a lot of us, or we, I ain't gonna say a lot of us, we tend to want and we like to receive, right? We like to come up, we like to get, we like to obtain, those words. When we say who you help, a lot of people go straight to their job, right? It's so hard for me to ask for help, right? Um, when again, when we start saying what we do, or if I say who do you help, the first thing come to your mind is what I do for a living, because you start saying I do this for that, and we consider that help. But can we answer? I'll take a second, drink on my tea. Can anybody turn on the mic and answer that? I help X do Y by Z that's not our job or too powerful to ask for help. I like it. You're right, Riri. You're right, Georgina. All right. A lot of times we, especially those who give a lot, we don't even know, like, to receive some help. Come on, mic on. Makes you more comfortable. It makes you more confident when you can actually say to somebody, when you introduce yourself to somebody, man, I help this, do that, buy this. Makes you sound way more valuable than I'm a receptionist for Ford, right? Come on. Y'all thinking. I think that's what it is. Everybody's thinking, like, what do I help do? That's not a job. Very hard. Very hard. I'm sitting here thinking myself, Marcus, what do I help do? And the next thing after job we come to is parenting. Yeah, that's a given. So we can't say that. Oh, I help my son. You're supposed to, right? Think about that today as you moving around and we trying to come up and obtain. What are we helping? I'll go back to my notes. Yeah, well, let me wrap this one up so I can go back to those notes yesterday. Right. Last thing I said is read, read, read stuff, read stuff. As we get to adulthood, we start reading, right? We start listening maybe to audiobooks. We start watching YouTube. Read, right? Read the room. Read this Zoom room. Who on here, right? Read, right? Let's see. Lucia was on this morning. Adrian was on this morning, and they both reading books. Y'all can write them in the chat, which y'all reading. But Jenny, what are you reading? Didi, what you reading? Riri, what are you reading? Cardiac, what are you reading? Brian, what are you reading? Right? The reason I said read is because when you're reading, you're soaking up the game. I can't pronounce that, but you can turn on the mic and say it. I started to read the Bible again. Love that. I'm gonna actually hit you, Jenny, with the you supposed to, but I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Me too. I guess I can say that when I'm reading, right? So let me add this to it, Jenny. So we can't use these. You can't use that in our circle, in our network, in our thing that we want to do, become, have. What are we reading? And the reason why is there is somebody or something at the top of what we want to do or the circle we want to be in. There's goals. We use that word hashtag goals, right? Who are we studying? Who are we reading, right? We see them on the gram flex, and I want to be like that. Are we reading? Are we checking out their, oh, that's a win, that's a loss. I see how they move in here. I see the company that they posted and attached themselves to. I studied that company, right? Reading is fundamental. No, just kidding. I was gonna say reading is fundamental, but no. What are we reading? And I pulled out some of my books from this morning. I've been doing radio for a long time, and I'm still reading. I don't know if y'all can see that, right? I'm reading that. I'm also reading one of my favorite motivational speakers, UOU, right? Right. And so, like, I'm not telling y'all to read, I'm not saying read what I read, but like whatever it is that you're reading, it's going to help you when you be able to walk into a room of the people you want to be in. Now you've been studying the circle you want to be in. Now you fit because you speak in the same language and you can read the room better. Oh, I see that person moving like he said in the book. She said in the book. Oh, that helped that person in the book. I got something in common. I can talk. You know what I mean? Read. Right? I ain't see a lot of people writing in the chat. Are we not reading? That's cool too. But we should start. We should start, right? Questions, comments. I'm gonna go back to my notes from yesterday. And if y'all want to watch yesterday's, it was really, really good. Hopefully today's been good. We got a few minutes left. Yesterday I was on how to design the life that you deserve. How to design the life you deserve. And it came from Friday when me and my son was going to go look at a house. And I said, man, we need to design our life like a house. We need to start designing our life like a house, right? And I said, the first thing we do when we get ready to buy a house is we ask that question, how much? How much is the house? How much do we want in this life, right? Right. The more you put into your house, the bigger it is. Same thing with your life. The more energy, effort, time that you put into your life, the grander it is. And if you want a small life, that's cool too. You don't got to put that much. But we ask ourselves, man, what am I willing to pay for that house? That 5-bedroom, that 7-bedroom, whatever. What am I willing to pay for in your life? What are you willing to pay for? Second, we always ask ourselves, what location? Where we want to live at? You want the burbs? You want the beach? You want the mountains? You want the hood? What do you want? Right? And I'm talking house, you talk life. What kind of life you want? You want the burbs? You want the hood? You want the mountains? You want the beach? And you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to pay for to live over there? Right? Third, I said, man, we need to start matching our lifestyle with our home. This goes on with today. That's why I'm going back over it. Right? Who are you? Who are you? Match your lifestyle with your home. No more Bentleys and Phantoms in the parking lot at your apartment. Right? Match your lifestyle. And I'm using house, but I'm saying life. Sorry. Make sure I preference that. All right. And then I said, fourth, you got to make sure that you're constantly in communication with the architect who's building your house, who's building your life. Are you constantly talking, praying, reading, studying with the architect that's building your life? All right. So that was yesterday, and it came from Luke 14, 28 through 30. But back on today, mic is open. We got 11 minutes, I think. Anybody? Anybody want to take a stab at it? I help X do Y by Z. How do we gonna introduce ourselves? Y'all ever been talking to somebody? Y'all ever talk to somebody and y'all standing there in the conversation and you like, who are you and what do you do again? Right? Because a lot of times as adults, we come with that sales pitch, but I don't know. I have no idea about you, right? Right? We go on the ground, we see people doing everything. And at the end of the day, if I said, man, I saw your gram, I still won't know who you are. You do way too much, right? You won't know what people about, right? How are we introducing ourselves to get in that room? Anybody? I left y'all confused today. Almost breakfast time over here. Anyone? Take a stab at it. Introduce yourself. That word help trips us up, right? Can we admit to that? My point. Everybody's thinking. I'm looking at some of y'all faces. Everybody's thinking. Good. Today's assignment is to be able to do it, try it yourself. While you driving, while you getting dressed, you brushing your teeth, start thinking how you can introduce yourself to add value to you without talking about what you do for a living. right? Because that allows other people to be like, what? I'm interested in that. That's just like be able to say, yo, I've been married 56 years and I'm using that as an analogy, right? Be able to say it. Y'all got me? Good. If no comments, we actually get out of here earlier today. I'm with that life. Comments, thoughts? I will say this. Oh, wait, I'll say this before you talk. My podcast course and YouTube course starts today. It is on my Instagram. If you are in the Houston area and you want to bring your kids, I'm taking kids age 8 to 18, but if they 6 and smart, I'll take them. If they 19 and dumb, I'll take, no, just kidding. But my podcast YouTube course starts today. It's on my Instagram. Please support. It goes all summer long, so you don't have to feel pressed by doing it. B, you about to say something?
Yeah, so your X by Y equals Z thing. So you want us to describe what we do without telling people what our job is, correct?
Yep.
So I would say I rehabilitate people to prepare them for the real world by discipline and different programs.
Good. Okay. So imagine if we were all, if let's say 500 people were on here and you jumped on and we was like, yo, introduce yourself. And you said that versus what's your job title?
Correction officer.
Right? Which I ain't gonna lie, that's a hard job. So I think that would be interesting too. Because the first thing I would say is, really, what kind of stuff you see? But like if you came on and said, yo, I help what you just said in that order, bro, that sounds way more valuable than, man, I'm a correction officer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie though, correction officer is hard though. Oh, that's hard. But anybody else? Thank you, B. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And I want to say another thing. You're talking about reading. I do a ton of plans on the Bible app. That's what I do for reading. And right now, what I'm doing, since I'm a single father, I'm doing one. It's called Modern Romance. It talks about being singleness and just helping you better for our relationships, because I think that's like the best thing you can do for yourself, especially being single, a single parent, is just make yourself a better version of yourself. So to help you prepare for your future relationships.
My ladies on here, anybody want to move to West Virginia? I got a cool dude. He a correction officer. He got a cool little beard. He a devoted father. And he's saying, hey, Virginia drop. Hey, if y'all trying to ever move out of y'all hood, there you go. Nah. But yeah, B is a really good person. I love him for it. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Got a voice for radio. Oh, you got a voice for radio. B, you got a voice for radio.
Hey, Marcus, funny story. I don't know if I told you, I used to be a DJ in my previous life, as I say, before I was born again. I used to do all the clubs and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Cardiac is a DJ. Cardiac is a DJ. But Cardiac is like he DJ. He don't be hosting. Sometimes Cardiac, do you get on the mic or do you just DJ?
No, I hate getting on the mic.
See, y'all need to pair up. Y'all to be like Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Yeah. For real. Call y'all what I call y'all? Salt and pepper. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. No, I'm messing around. All right, anybody else want to take a stab at it, introducing themselves without saying your job title? It's just a game that we can play.
I guess
let's go. You smiling. I was just about to say, let's go. Give us a shot at it.
That's something that values me, of course. Well,
wait. I help X do Y by Z, and let us guess.
Oh, well, I help. No, I help a lot of people in my household. Especially with bills, I guess. I'm blessed with the position I have right now. I mean, I really don't.
Right. It's hard. It's harder than you think.
It is hard, because you know,
You a stay-at-home mom.
I only did one thing for a long, long time, and now I am coming up, so I am blessed. Things are coming, you know, to our family, so it's just little by little.
Love it. You're a stay-at-home mom. I love it. Do me a favor. Next time you introduce yourself, get rid of the word "I guess."
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Don't
Okay.
guess what you do. Know what you do. Right.
Yes, of
I help-
course.
I help families. I help a family begin their day-to-day life by keeping
Yeah.
things in order and keeping things structured and a comfortable place to come home to. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Anybody else? Oh, that's hard though. That was hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Be confident, right? Know that you belong in the room. Know that, right? Build up your success stories, right? Anybody else? We got 4 minutes. If you don't want to do it on the live, that's absolutely cool. You have a mirror that you can do it in front of. You got a car that you can do it outside, or the person next to you might think you're crazy, but go ahead. It definitely builds your confidence when you can actually say who you are and not a job description, right? Right?
Yeah.
Get out of I'm sorry.
I did want to, I understood now what you meant by reading, not an actual book, reading people. And I just didn't know how to properly say it. But yes, like I want to be a teacher. So I read people on, like I know family that, I grew up with that are teachers. So I see what they're doing in their life, and I know now the steps of what to do to get to being a teacher.
Oh, that's
So.
the very first point today. Get around what you want to become. You want to be a teacher? Promise me, you start hanging around teachers and hanging around principals and educators, you're going to have all the game of how to become a teacher. What you need, you're going to have every requirement right there disposable at your hands of what you want to do. All right, 2 minutes. Anybody else? Appreciate it, Jenny. Somebody else take a stab at it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I help X do Y by Z. I tried it this morning. I can't even remember what I said. I think I said, I forget what I said. I inspire or motivate people by giving hope, positive music, and inspiration as you start your day. Right? I think that's what I said this morning. Right? Well, I should say, man, I give the word of God, and y'all be like, preacher, right? But all right, but that's it from me. If y'all don't want to try it, man, use your mirror and try it for yourself, right? Build your own confidence. Start knowing that you actually belong in the room. And if you want to see yesterday, swing by the Blessed Beats Media, Beats is with a Z, YouTube page. And yesterday's will be up. I'm gonna take 10 minutes and I'm gonna post today's. I just gotta find a crazy thumbnail. It might just be, that might be the thumbnail. I might just do like that. There's your thumbnail. Who are you? All right, so look for the Fragles for your thumbnail. And it'll be up by like 10 a.m. All right, y'all, we'll do it tomorrow. Later.